Hello, aspirants. Welcome to the Hi-Fi of the Day, Daily Current Affairs by Alchemy IAS Institute. I am Suhas, and we are going to discuss the 5 most important news topic of the day. Election Commission of India is all set to revise the Bihar electoral roll before the upcoming assembly election. So there was a growing concern about that, and why the election commission is revising this electoral roll. It is due to rapid migration, urbanization, and a change in electoral roll, and an allegation that there are a lot of duplicate entries are there, and revision is inevitable. So there, a new term, or it's like it's not that's familiar, special intensive revision is going to happen in Bihar. And what is the special intensive revision of electoral roll? What is the authority of election commission to conduct a special intensive revision? So usually there are two type of revision, or it's like revision of electoral roll happen. One thing will be like intensive revision. It will be visiting home by home and registering the entries of electors. And another one is summary, that is annual updation of electoral roll. When a new person is being added to the electoral roll, an annual updation will happen. This special intensive revision is a mix of both. That home by home visit also will be there, and a summary, that addition of new person also will be there. So what is the authority of uh, election commission for conducting the special intensive revision? Yes, election commission is all powerful. It has plenary power to conduct the electoral roll revision and for a fair and free election. So in 1997, this discussion has brought that old judgment of 1997 Mohinder Singh case. After a violence and destruction of this ballot box in Ferozepur, the election got cancelled there. So Mr. Mohinder Singh Gill, who was leading in that election, went to Punjab and Haryana High Court. Later, he went to Supreme Court as an appeal for challenging the power of election commission to cancel this poll and ordering for a repoll. Here, the Supreme Court ruling was like election commission have all the right to revise the electoral roll and conduct a repoll for a free and fair election, for a improving, or like maintaining the transparency and accountability of election. So what is the relevance to the current SIR challenge? The thing is, the people want to submit their Aadhaar or voters ID, or it's like citizenship register. I mean, the proof of citizenship for getting entry into the electoral roll. Otherwise, they will be excluded. So the fear of exclusion is there. So the opposition is accusing that this SIR, special intensive revision, is stealth of citizens register, National Citizens Register, NCR. And the SIR has raised the fear of reminiscence of the debates around like NCR, National Register of Citizenship, and the Citizenship Amendment Act. That is a growing concern there. So this topic is important for polity, election. Space Cat Jaguar. This aircraft is in news, recently in news, after a Churu aircraft in Rajasthan. Like, this aircraft got crashed, and this is not the first time. More than 12 aircraft got crashed in last decade. So what is this history of this Sepicat Jaguar? Sepicat Jaguar, the Sepicat is a British France collaboration company. They are providing this fighter jets, and the first Jaguar was from in 1967 something, and in 1970s onwards, India acquired 160 plus Jaguars, and these vintage aircraft is still in operation, because the capacity of the aircraft, that capacity of the fighter jet, it is also known as India's bomber. Like, it has that capacity to carry uh, heavy heavy bombs, heavy missiles, heavy penetration bombs, like the how our bunker busters and B2 bomber. It's not that up to level, but still. So why does this Indian Air Force? Why does Indian Air Force is still flying this Epicat Jaguar? One is, there is no sudden replacement. That our Tejas, HAL Tejas, is still delays and a low squadron strength as of now. Like that 42 fighters that are expected to be in operation, but only 31 is there. So what is this strategic role that airborne nuclear delivery system is very high for this Sepicat Jaguar, and we used in our recent Operation Sindoor also. And upgradability is there, like we can upgrade it now. It is being upgraded with the Israelis radars and US AIM, American AIM. So Darren 3 variant version with the modernization of tech, and we have acquired 140 something Jaguars from like scrapped Jaguars, like from other countries as a cannibal approach, that we will be using the spare parts of this unused, I mean like scrapped Jaguars in our new system. And it is very cost effective, that service cost will be very less, and the service time is also very less, that changing or replacing the Jaguar's engine will take hardly 30 minutes. Okay, that quick maintenance and candle-based spares are also one reason. And the compact effectiveness, yes, still useful in strike missions that we used in Operation Sindoor, that air-to-air strike for. And the concern is Jaguar is actually underpowered, that powered with a low specific engines, and this uh, airframe is so old that many times it causes mechanical failures, and the pilots, that Indian Air Force pilots life is actually at risk, at stake. The Salt Party by Rayon Win, that many of you have read this book, and the film is actually released in May of this year. And it's a famous book, and that book says about Ryan Wynn, and is also like also known as Sally Wack, and her husband, uh, how they got recovered from their homelessness, like they lost their home due to bad investment, and this her husband has a diagnosed with a terminal neurological illness, EBD, and how they have recovered from those challenges, how the nature healed them. But the recent publication or some investigation says that what the observer investigation found, the case of their homelessness was not as described in the book. They have made some uh, corruption, or like this steal some money from their employees to employer to repay that. They took a loan at 18% interest. That's how they lost their home. And they were technically not homeless, because they have another home in France, but that is inhabitable. But technically they are not homeless. And the questions about Moth's, that Moth is her husband, Moth's medical condition, like usually when a person got diagnosed with this kind of a terminal illness, he will be alive for a maximum 6 to 8 years, but for the last 12 years he is still alive. So that medical condition is also under question. So what it says, like that these books are actually the description in the books is actually not true. That was the thing. And keep the mind, the book name in mind. Climate refugees. Who are climate refugees? That they are dislocated because of climate problems, climate changes. Okay, so some question is that why the term climate refugee considered ambiguous, and how does the UNHRC address this ambiguity? See, that people are being refugees, or like they are leaving their hometown, or like moving to some other, migrating to some other places. It's not just because of the climate problem. There will be social, religious, or cultural or economical problems also there can be there. So we cannot term a person as a climate refugee. That's the ambiguity there. And what are the key limitations of 1951 refugee convention? That says that addressing climate induced displacement, that refugee convention says that the refugees cause should be like political or economical. These kind of reasons can be there, that climate cannot be a reason. And how do the regional initiatives like Kampala Convention and Pacific Island Framework, these both of the framework conventions are actually mandated, mandated to give refugees or as like shelter to these refugees. But globally, there is no convention. Globally, there is no mandate like that. And why this global south disproportionately affected by the climate induced displacement? Why the global south is more dependent on the climate dependent agriculture, climate related agriculture, and that capacity to withstand with this climate change is also less in global south. That was the reason. Okay. And how do soft laws instruments like the Nancy Initiative and the platform on disaster displacement fill the legal voids for climate refugees? Yes, they are providing legal provisions, but those legal provisions are not mandatory. There is no like effective, like there is no implementation. Okay, blood money. Recently, the news, a nurse named Nimsha Priya, she is expecting a death sentence in Yemen. Uh, the sentence is going to be executed in today, this July 16th. So, what is this blood money? Blood money or diya, how it had. Blood money means, what is the definition and what is the Islamic law? Blood money means when a person is accused, or it's like when a person is convicted as a murderer in Islamic nation, what happens if that victim's family, if that dead person's family is forgiving that forgiving this murderer, he can be free. For getting that forgiveness, that convicted person has to give money to the family of the uh, dead person. So here, like not like in India, pardoning power lies with the president, but here the pardoning power lies with the family, not with the state. Okay, and the Islamic law state that if it got forgiven, yes, they can stay free. How it works? That money will be, that negotiation will happen between the convicted person and convicted person's friends or family, whoever, with the uh, family of the dead person. And in Nimisha's case, what happened? That Nimisha, there's a association, or it's like a forum created for her, saving her, and they offered 8.2 crores to the family, but the family has not responded it. So legal and diplomatic challenges there, like India's diplomatic limitations. Now Yemen is under Houthis rule, and India doesn't have any diplomatic relation with Houthi. That is a Houthi ruling. That is a problem. And the court deadline is approaching. It is on July 16th. Finally, the current affairs drill question of the day. Consider the following statement regarding the climate refugees. In 1951, Refugee Convention explicitly excluded the climate-induced displacement as a ground for refugee status. The term climate refugee has not universal accepted legal definition. Most of the climate-induced displacement occurs in global north due to the extreme weather events. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The options are given here. Comment your answer in the comment section below.